Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford.
Hello, hello, hello. Guess where
Hi,
we
Zach.
got to go, everybody? Texas Frightmare Weekend. I'd never heard of this thing, by the way.
We need to mention the fact that it is the first time that we met. And
It
I don't know
is.
if you felt this way, but it didn't feel like it was our first. Like, it just felt like organic. It didn't feel like, oh, this is the first time I've seen this person. It felt like, yeah, this is my friend that I see a lot.
It was weird at first being in like the same space. I didn't feel nervous and I didn't feel like uncomfortable or anything, but it felt weird with you like physically being there, right? I think we even made the joke at one point that like maybe we should just Zoom from our individual beds, just hop on Zoom and talk to each other. But no, it was like pretty quick that like I got used to it. So
And Zach hugged me. I didn't even have to make him hug me.
I gave you a full side hug and everything. Yes, I did.
side
I did. I prepared myself all the way down, going in the elevator for that. I'm like, it's okay, Zach. You can touch people. You're not Howie Mandel today. Just hug him. He don't have germs or cooties. And I gave you a hug. Because I do not like touching people. I don't like hugging. I don't like touching. But I did that for my friend.
Aww.
And you got there a little bit later, so I had time to like nap and refresh and everything.
Because again, my flight was delayed a bunch. So
And we were in a nice hotel, the Warwick Melrose in Dallas. It was like I had been wanting to stay there forever and finally got to stay there, and I was not disappointed.
Zach picked like the fanciest hotel. I don't think I've ever stayed somewhere that fancy. It was nice.
It was. And there was a Mexican. You got there and you were pretty hungry already, so we called Troy because Troy was staying on the same floor as us. Yeah, we didn't even mention that Troy from Dunzo, who's been on the podcast a couple times, he was with us. And so we went across the street and there was this Mexican restaurant, and we had some drinks and like got to know each other. It felt like,
and they were like.
We close in
They
10
were
minutes.
like, we're closing in 10 minutes. And we were like, oh, shit.
It was weird, though. It was like 9 o'clock. I was like, I figured they'd at least close at like 10 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Applebee's is open later. Like,
It was weird, but it was nice, like getting to hang out. And like, it really was the first time we've known each other since 2019. The pandemic, 2020 and 2021 feel like one just long ass year. And we didn't meet each other then. And we knew that this was going to be the year. So we finally met, and it was nice. Troy went back to the room. He went to bed. He was super tired. And me and Ian were like, well, we're just going to like do a couple bars, just like a couple drinks and like talk and stuff like that. We got shit-faced.
I lost my jacket.
He lost his good jacket, the like denim jacket with all the buttons that Ian to have.
And we went back to the bar, and they
I
said
feel
it
like we
wasn't
went
there.
back like almost all 3 days. We went back like 3 days in a row looking for that damn jacket and still couldn't find it. So I feel like
it had to have been there.
it's under a table or something. Somebody,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody tried to take it. I think it's like hidden or in a corner somewhere. It has to.
I know, and I will say I wasn't right. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't too pressed. I wasn't too like about it.
I would have been sad. I would have been pretty upset about it. I think if anybody finds that jacket at Roundup in Dallas in the gay district, return it, please. Return to sender.
That I'm wearing in like 90% of my photos on Instagram.
His action figure has the jacket on.
Well, it's in the other room. Otherwise, I was going to hold it up. But Zach volunteered me for a fucking like drag dance strip competition. And I was like, please no, please no, please no. And the drag queen got me, and I was like, very nervous. So she fed me, I think, Jaeger shots. And that's why I blacked out.
Know, but I don't understand like how you got naked. I looked over at one point and he's like naked on the dance floor, just like, I think, what was it? It was a sing along, right? What did you even sing to? Do you remember?
Nope. The only thing that helped me was that the lights were so bright I couldn't really see everybody, and I was like, because the drag queen came up to me and she was like, take off your shirt. I was like, absolutely not. And she went, take off your goddamn shirt. And I was like, no. So I like pulled away, and then she came back to me and she was like, would you please take off your shirt? And I was like, all right, go ahead.
That was a fun night though. We went out. It was just me and Ian going out that night. Troy stayed in.
Did we do a little bit of the whatever the dancing is, the country dancing?
Oh yeah, I got Ian to line dance, everybody. I got him to line dance.
I feel like I only vaguely recall that, Zach.
I think we looked like shit. Because we were both very, very shit-faced, so I know that it was terrible line dancing. I was like drunkenly trying to explain to him how to line dance. I'm like, you just kick a foot, kick. I remember counting to you. I remember going 1, 2, kick.
I remember that. Yes.
It was a good night though. It was a good night. Everybody, so I have been. This is my very first con, by the way. So claps, snaps for me. And I was super excited. And I was really only going because the cast of Scream was going to be there. They had the entire cast of Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, and then they had like a lot of the cast of Scream. They had a good chunk of the cast of Scream. So definitely wanted to go to that one. And I don't know, what would you say about it? What would you say about it? Because you're the con expert, right?
Yeah, I'm to no surprise to probably everyone and Zachary, I'm a little like spoiled when it comes to cons, right? Mm-hmm. Because lots of times, like especially in the recent years, I like work with them. So I'll like get a press pass and I'm like, I'm not waiting in no lines. I'm not like sweating and getting all gross. So this is the first con I've done in a while where like I was in the crowds. But definitely a thing I've noticed about a lot of cons is that it's like, even if they get really good guests, if they get good people working tables and stuff, it's just, they're always so fucking crowded. And I don't like that first day, right? That was like, we couldn't move.
I did not know what to expect. Again, this was my first one. We show up outside the hotel and the line is like, now that I think about it, it wasn't that long, but when we first showed up, it was like wrapped around and I was like, shit. But it went like super fast. It was like within 20 minutes we were inside. Yeah. We got in, we walked around and like they have this big ballroom full of just vendors, right? And this is what I found really weird because we went into the vendor room and I figured we were going to go shop. And I was like super excited to shop. I always love spending a little bit of money. We went in there and I was just ready to shop. And I'm like immediately, right when you walked in the door, face to face with Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And I'm like, first, I was like just shocked to see her in person, right? Like that she was there and like I could see her skin texture and like it's just weird stuff like that I was just thinking of. We stood there for like 5 minutes and just stared at her. It was really surreal. But I was like shocked that she was in there with all the vendors. Like I figured in my mind that would be something that would be separate. Like are they
especially
usually
her.
Like mingled together?
It really depends on the con. Usually at cons like this, usually they do at least have the people, like, even if it's the same room, right? Usually it's like all the people are over here, all the vendors are here. So it's like at least separated that way. But
it really wasn't.
It really was, right? Because there was that weird other room, but like Neve Campbell and Heather
the other room, it seemed like the other room should have been like they had a full space for everybody. And I feel like all of the people that we walked around and we saw could have been fit into that other room if they had taken the vendors out of that room, because there was a few vendors in that one, but they were like not anything that was like, there were no lines or anything like that, so they could have been moved. It was just like weird. It was a weird layout. I thought the whole layout was really weird. Apparently there was a lot of stuff going on. They had a bunch of different events for it, right? But like I didn't see any of it and I couldn't figure out where to go, and they didn't really like, it wasn't very clear on like where everything was, what everything was doing. And from the people that we talked to, because everybody had been here before, right? They all said that this was the most crowded Texas Frightmare Weekend that there had ever been, and like this is the most crowded that they've ever seen it. So like that made sense, right? The first day that we got there, immediately, like when we walked up, there was like a line wrapped around outside of the ballroom, and there was a sign that said Neve Campbell's line was capped. We weren't even planning to go in Neve Campbell's line for the first night, right? We just wanted to go check it out, scope it out. I think we even arrived like a couple hours late. And then when we walked inside and we were walking around, like there was, we just were walking through all the vendors, and then there's Neve Campbell, the same way as like Heather Langenkamp was. I was just like surprised to see her just so casually there, not really like flanked by security or anything. And it was just like it felt too accessible for me, for my like peasanthood.
Well, I will say, so like, I can remember the first time I went to a con where I saw like a celebrity that I cared about. And I remember I think it was Eliza Dushku, but I didn't get to meet her. So because her line was closed like the moment the con opened, her line was closed. And it was in Philly. And so I did what we did, where I was just like, well, if I stand here, I can see her. her hair looks beautiful. Like I was just like looking at her from afar, and I kept getting yelled at by security because like they don't like when you do that. But I kept going over to like look at her because I was upset I couldn't get in line.
It's crazy.
But we had said this. We kind of prepared for it on Saturday. We were like, all right, well, we'll probably spend all day waiting in line for Neve Campbell, which we did on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I will say that, so like, I think I'm pretty good with like celebrities. You know, like I've interacted with quite a few or whatever. And like living in New York, you see them on the street sometimes. But like, Neve Campbell, when we saw her on
whole
Friday,
different experience.
like,
Whole different experience. Okay, we're not even there yet. We're still
no,
on
but
Friday
I mean on
night.
Friday.
Yes.
No, but I mean on Friday.
Seeing her right there. Yeah. Had you never seen her before, like ever, like in person?
Heather Langenkamp I've seen in person before, but not Neve Campbell.
Wild. Okay, so we stood and we for like 5 minutes and watched Heather Langenkamp, and then we did the same thing with Neve Campbell. But Neve Campbell, like we took phones out and we were like. Everybody was like, we were trying to get pictures. And it was just crazy because she was like there, and I think we stood there long enough that we caught the end of her line and we saw her like preparing to leave. She pulled out, she had a Red Bull. I was like, I drink Red Bull. I love Red Bull. She like put it in her purse. Like this. I feel like best friends with her now because like I just have that common bond. I don't know. She looks exactly like you would think Sydney Prescott looks day-to-day life. Like when there's not a movie going on and she's just like with Mark and the girls. Fucking that's exactly how she dresses. She had these really great like Sydney boots on. She had like these tighter jeans and like
a really nice like cute high-waisted jeans.
Yeah, and like a flowy top tucked into her pants, and it was just so good. Her hair looked great, and she just had like a specific styling the entire weekend. It was like the same clothes, but like different patterns, right? Like she kept her look.
Yeah, like the same kind of outfit. But so like I you know. And we went with Troy, and when Zach and Troy were like obsessing over Heather Langenkamp, I couldn't tell you when, but I know I've seen her before. So I was like, and I kept like, I would walk away, look at
I could tell that you were like trying to usher us a little bit. I think we just like didn't expect her to be like right when we walk in. Like it was crazy. And Ian was definitely like trying to hurt us away from the booth. He's like, come on, we got a lot of convention to do.
But all that being said, I think when I turned the corner and spotted Neve Campbell, it was really like a cartoon moment.
He did the same damn thing. And then there was nobody to hurt us away, right? We just stood there. We just stood there for as long as we could.
I played it cool in that I went farther back so security wouldn't yell at me that I was taking pictures of her from far away.
It was like, crazy.
It felt like when like the doors of a church open and like, it's like, like that's how I felt seeing her. And she just looked gorgeous. And she was like, she exuded, like she just radiated like warmth and like whatever. And this was just seeing her sitting there.
Yeah.
And I got teared up because I know I've talked about this a million times, but especially in the newest Scream, like that, like the progression of Sydney to like confident. Yeah. I'm warm, I'm sweet, but I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And then I'm going to go home. Like I couldn't love it anymore. And I just feel like that was kind of her, right? Yeah, like that was kind of like her vibe.
And I don't know if that's just really her vibe. I would like to like look at her from some like my mom's perspective. My mom don't give a shit, right? But right. Like to us, it was just like everything, right? Our entire like lifetimes almost, and just seeing her standing there, and we just like couldn't look away. When she finally left, we walked around and we just basically shopped for the rest of that. I didn't buy anything. I really wanted. There were certain things I really wanted, but also you had to keep in mind, we flew in, like we didn't really have ways to get things back. They had like giant ass Chucky dolls for like $500. I'm like, that's what I want one of those.
I was like, he's gonna buy this fucking Chucky.
I fucking wanted it.
He kept like going back to it, being like, what was, but you wanted a different, it was Tiffany they had, but they didn't
Tiffany.
have the one you wanted, right?
I wanted Tiffany, but I wanted Bride of Chucky Tiffany, and I don't think they've made that yet, because I think it's from Trick or Treat Studios, and I think it's like a really good one. Like they took their time to like really make it. It's not the Spencer's one that you see like, that looks all haggard, like sitting up on a shelf with Chucky. But
the Spencer's one.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. I
like
do.
The black like Sharpie over the eyes. Fucking disgusting. But I was like obsessed with that when I was a kid. I really wanted one of those, and I was not allowed to have it. But I was like, this is gonna sound really pervy too. It's like I really wanted to pull down her dress and see if she had like nipples when I was a child, because she does in the movie. So I was obsessed with doing that. But I never got one. So they did have a seat of Chucky, and she looked flawless. Like she looked good, but she didn't have like a motorcycle jacket, you know. She didn't look like Bride of Chucky. So
I'm still not over you wanting to pull down the top.
If I would, and if I would have bought the Seed of Chucky Tiffany doll, we would have gone to the hotel room. I would have taken her out of the box, and I would have pulled her dress down to see if she has nipples like she does in Seed of Chucky. If anybody has an answer for that, just like put it down below, okay?
I'm recording. I'm like, welcome to My Bloody Judy. This is Zach undressing his Tiffany doll.
I would have saved it for this too. Like we would have undone her on camera. Okay, if they're gonna do that in the movies, make it movie accurate, right? I didn't buy one of those. It was just, I don't know what stopped. I think that's what stopped me, is that it wasn't the right one. It's not the one I wanted. But I did want shit. Like I walked around and I wanted shit, and I was like upset with myself.
We definitely saw stuff.
I kept seeing stuff that I really like wished I would have bought here instead of on eBay. Like I bought the Laurie Strode and Loomis figure, from Halloween 2, and they had a bunch of those all around here.
Yeah.
Like from like $65 up to like $85. So, but I already had it, so I didn't need that. They had like a 6-scale Michael Myers deluxe edition from Sideshow that I really wanted. She said that was $300 is what she said that was. Fucking ridiculous, like man. Yeah. On eBay, I can get that for like $230.
At cons, they usually I feel like at cons it goes either way. Either usually everything's like super expensive, or they'll be like there was once at a con. I think it might have been the last time I went to New York Comic Con. No, it was when I was living in New York and I went to New York Comic Con, and there was a wall and it was like, all of these figures are $10, and it was every Buffy figure ever, and they were all $10. And I was like, and I bought I think there was 2 I didn't have, and I bought the last 2 I needed, and then I bought 5 more Buffys.
And what year
why not?
Is that?
They were $10.
What year estimated?
6 years ago.
So it's like when they're out of production, though, like they're like not being sold in stores anymore. Okay, so there was one booth, the same booth that sold the 6-scale Michael Myers had. When we first walked up to the booth, they had like a Spike from Angel figure, and I was like, I bet I'm gonna turn the corner and there's gonna be just Buffy figures. And I was like so excited. I was ready to buy some. I was looking for an Illyria because I really want to get an Illyria for Alistair. There's just a bunch of stuff, like everywhere. And it was just figures that are like out of production already. And like everything was like pretty pricey, but it was just cool to see it all there. And I think I was overwhelmed. I couldn't figure out what I wanted. Didn't see like any shirts.
And they had those cool dioramas at that same stand too that we liked.
They did, but I wasn't even going to ask the price of those. I was not.
Right. Yeah.
After asking for that Michael Myers.
How are we getting that shit home? How are we getting like a diorama home?
I would have figured it out. I would have held it in my lap on the airplane. Okay. I would have been like, miss, I have to hold this. I cannot put this in the overhead bin. It was really fun though. It was walking around and like everybody was dressed up. We saw, what I found really interesting is that we didn't see duplicates of Gales, but we saw every Gale from the franchise.
We did. Yeah, you're right. There wasn't any like duplicates. Mm. Got in a picture that we saw a Gale and Kenny. It was Gale Kenny, and it was like an older-ish couple. Yeah. And I was like, good for them. I love that. I love that they're like cosplaying together.
I loved it. It was so nice. I wanted to get a picture with them, and then I completely forgot by the time it was really hot. I bought a which Christmas was it? I don't remember what Christmas it was, but I bought Ian a My Bloody Judy t-shirt.
It was not this one, but the one before. Yeah.
I don't know. But then I got right before this con, I got myself one with our new image on it. So we had our old image, our new image, and on his it said season 1, and I like completely forgot that it said that. So it was so cool. And we were just walking around the weekend with our My Bloody Judy shirts on. But yeah, the first day, we didn't really do anything. We just kind of walked around, saw everybody. It was really uncomfortable seeing the people who didn't have like people in their lines. And I was trying not to make eye contact with people.
I was going to say, there was...
I'm not going to say who, because I don't want to make them feel bad, but...
We won't say who, but it was...
I felt one bad specific one was really, like, hard to look at.
Because there was that other room, because we were about to leave, and then we were like, oh, wait, there's another room. And there was another room with, like... It's weird, because, like, Neve Campbell's clearly... Even Heather, I would say, would be the biggest...
Yeah.
But then in that room, they had the Chucky people, but then like a bunch of like random, like the guy that played Senator Kelly in the first X-Men movie, like a lot of people like that.
I will say that the Chucky people got their own like nice little corner that was like completely isolated from everybody else, but like still in the same room. And then there were some people I didn't even know who had their own rooms. And I was confused about that. I was like, if you have all of the Scream people and you know those lines are going to be packed, wouldn't you stick them all in the same room? Or like the Dream Warriors people, stick those all in the same room? Like kind of congregate everything into like one area.
It just like really didn't make sense that the Scream people were in the floor where the vendors are, because I feel like those lines were there was never a moment when any of their lines weren't fucking nuts, right?
Yeah.
Like every time we walked by the way, everyone, Steve Ulrich is just as hot in person.
Gorgeous.
Because
he was fucking like, he was like hot. The second day we got up pretty early. Like we were prepared to go, right? Like we didn't get there.
Zach, I woke you up at noon.
Yes, but like I'm saying, yeah, I guess I don't know. We got there halfway between the thing. Okay, I was not getting there at 11 a.m. to watch to wait for anybody. I'm sorry, I wasn't gonna do it.
Listen, I understand. I was just when I woke up, I was like, oh, Zach already. Oh, he's still asleep. Oh, fuck! I gotta wake him up. Like I was like,
I'd woken up at like 8:30 that morning, and I was like ready to go, and I laid back down, and just my ass crashed. The night before, I think we should talk about the night before too. The night before we went to Troy's room because Troy was on the same floor as us. Me and Ian shared a room. Troy had his own room, and then we went to Troy's room.
He had a fancy room.
Oh, he got the suite, which was only like $50 more than ours. It just only had one bed. Yeah.
All of them only have one bed, the suites. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. So we went to Troy's place and we watched Dream Warriors all night, and it was fun. It was nice. Because we thought about going out, but we were like, how about we just like, everybody's a little bit tired. Let's order like chicken tenders. We kept thinking of chicken tenders. Everybody wanted some fucking chicken tenders. We're like, we want chicken tenders. We're gonna watch Dream Warriors, and Troy and Ian decided they wanted the weed. They wanted the marijuana. And
I got it, didn't I?
He got it. Weedhead tramps is the term that we used most of the night. They got me to do a little bit of the weed. It's like Laurie Strode. Friday evening we went. That was our first day at the con. Saturday, got up about noon, but we were out of there pretty quickly. So like we got up about noon, and I really, really wanted to take one of my favorite places in Dallas is Katy Trail Ice House. And I really wanted to take Troy and Ian there. And so we went there. It was about an hour long wait. We're like, we'll do it. Cause they had like another like little trailer that was selling margaritas, and we got like 6 of them. Like we each had like 2 margaritas in the hour time that we were waiting. And so we got shit faced. And like by the time we went to eat or got seated to eat, we were shit faced. We sat down and we had this I know it was loud. It had to have been loud, and everybody had to have been listening because we were shit faced and loud. And we had this long ass conversation about why queers love Final Girl so much. We were like, you know what, Sydney is a good Final Girl, you know. And it was long too. This must have been our entire meal, you know. So we were preparing.
I will say this doesn't happen often because I was grossly drunker than you on Thursday. I wasn't as drunk on Saturday because I remember being like I remember like realizing we're really loud, but like being like, whatever.
I knew that we were loud, and I could like at times I would get carried away and get loud, and then like realize I was loud and come back down because I would see people looking over. But I kind of agree with you. I think Saturday I was like, because we would have a couple drinks, we'd get really ramped up, but then like there was a long period of time that we wouldn't be drinking. So it was like a steady kind of buzz, I would say. And I didn't ever hit the point where I was like too tired. Did you?
Towards the end, I was like...
Yeah. So we get after Katy Trail Ice House, we get to
Troy and I kept being like, "What is this place called?" Because with Zach saying
Katy Trail Ice House,
and it's not what you would. Katy Trail Ice House does not. It's like an outdoor.
What do you think
nice,
it is? What do you think it is when you like? What were you picturing?
Katy Trail Ice House. Ice House feels like. I think of like nightclub and like glass.
No.
And
yeah,
like Katie Trail, I think of like, oh, it's like a fancy lady. I don't know.
like a fancy lady, it, like welcomes you into her ice house.
Yeah.
She's just like, come into my ice house, have a nice
I'm
cocktail
Katie
and
Trail.
dance.
Yeah.
Here. No, it's just a really nice like outdoor place. Tons of picnic tables. Everybody's sitting outdoors, drinking, having food. Real nice place. And so we Ubered to the con right after that, and we showed up, and like immediately we're like, we got to get into Neve Campbell's line because we had a photo ops. All of us, we had session A photo ops. I think we actually went into session B. I don't know how. Like, I think
really?
we got like shuffled into the session B line. But we were in the line, and I tell you, once I hit that line, I was more nervous than I've ever been in my life. It has to be top 10 moments I've been nervous, because the night before when we were doing Dream Warriors and we were doing the weed, we were just like babbling about like what we were going to say to her, and what pose we were going to ask her to do with us, because we wanted to do something cool. We saw on Instagram that somebody had her do like the wild things, like, you know. And so we were all like, that looks fucking cool. But like...
Well, and then we saw that other people had done that too.
Yeah, we were like, can we do that? Is that just too much? And I questioned it the entire way up through the line. I was like, I don't know if I wanted to do that. Maybe I should just make her smile with me. Maybe we'll just smile. I don't know. It's just, that line seemed forever long because I was a fucking puddle. I was sweating. I was like really nervous. I know like I bombed my whole experience with her just because of that.
You know, well,
that first experience, the first one.
Okay. Well, I would say a thing that's very cute / endearing is that, like, you know, for all Zach's like tough guy, he gets very nervous and it's very cute. It's like,
yes,
because I'm the like anxious fucking mess and I'm like, oh, this is exciting. And you're like, ah. And it's nice when we change places for a change.
If I think about something too much, I can send myself into the fucking ground with nerves. And I absolutely did that with this because I just like didn't know what to even say, you know? And I knew it was going to be really quick. I knew like, because they were moving people through, man. This photo op was like, they're like, you're not bonding with her. I even thought about saying in my head, I remember I was like, I like Red Bull too, but I didn't want her to be like, what? Every scenario I ran in my head, it was like, I thought she was going to be like, what is he saying? Well, I don't understand. I should have said, can you try myself? I don't know. So I went in first. Were you right after me and Troy was last?
I think.
Okay.
Because Troy was behind me. Yeah.
I went in first. I saw how fast everybody was going, so I just like blurted out, will you do the wild things with me? And she said, what is the wild thing? But so I think this is a bit that she does. I don't think that she doesn't know what people are talking about, because I did the wild things thing with her. And then I listened to Troy's episode talking about this too. And he said that when he asked her to do the wild things with her too, she's like, what is the wild things? And I'm like, you just said that to me like 2 people beforehand. So I don't know.
I think, well, she knew you and I were together because like, I think we were talking and maybe she saw it. I was like, she was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, same thing he did. She was like, all right. And that's,
just, I think all 3 of us did the exact same, just like, and it's my favorite picture, and I will frame it. Yeah, mine's back there, and it will be framed.
I'm so glad
in
we
my
did
house.
it, right?
Yeah.
Like, aren't you glad we?
Because in your mind, you're like, oh, well, I want something unique and stuff like that. But no, it's for me. It's personal. It's going to be in my house. It's something I'm going to look at, and so I want it the way I want it.
I think I don't know. I think this is like unique, right? Because if it's just us smiling with her, it looks awkward. Like those pictures tend to look awkward. Like I told you, I've done a few, like I did one with Charisma Carpenter and James Marsters. And it's literally just like James has his arm around me, Charisma standing next to me, and we're smiling. It's very
I wonder if you could get Charisma to do that. I feel like she would do that. Just a thumbs up or a middle finger up and
I feel like we would. Yeah.
That would be fun.
But like, so like that picture was just awkward. And like, but then when we did, me and my best friend Kevin met John Barrett. Do you know who John Barrowman is?
No.
He's from Torchwood and he was in Arrow. He was one of the bad guys. But on Torchwood, he's in Doctor Who. He's like a very shitty, whatever. And so our picture with him, he said anything, but I won't give you a kiss because I got the flu last time, which is totally understandable. But so we were trying to think of like what to do. And what we did was, I wish I had the photo, but it got lost when I moved. He was holding me and dipping me and pushing Kevin away.
That's fun.
And it's real. It was a really fucking funny picture. So like in my brain, I'm like, I'm not doing these unless like it's cool. You know what I mean?
How many celebrity photo ops do you have?
I think I've done James Marsters like 4 times. Um, and I think it's not that I genuinely like just don't, because they're like usually so expensive and like whatever. We should also point out that Neve Campbell was not that expensive.
She wasn't.
She was $80 is like, everyone I've told that to who goes to cons is like, that's it.
There were other people there who should not have been over $100, and they were going into like 120 for a photo op, and I was like, no.
I'm pretty sure I paid 150 for James Marsters and Charisma.
I was trying to be a little frugal when I was like ordering it initially and stuff like that, but like after having gone to the con and like I didn't buy any merchandise, like I really like spent my money on these meet and greets.
But we would have. I
should have done the full screen picture because it was like $200 something, and I wish that's my regret is that I didn't do that because I was like, oh, $80 is still a lot of money. I don't know, but for a picture, $80. Now I'm like, I should have just thrown my $250 and got a picture with all of them, right? I could have had Billy and Stu cuddle each other. It was like a really good, like, it was a fine experience, but in my mind, it is so blurry because it just went so fast, and I was so nervous that, like, I think even like after we left, there was a line to go out too. And so when we were in the line to go out, I was just like beating myself up in my head. I was like, oh, you fucked it up. You're such a shitty person. You should die. And I didn't even notice Skeet Ulrich go right behind me. And like literally Troy and Ian looked at me and they're like, did you not see him? I completely missed him. I didn't even see him.
Because
like,
he was going in
my shoulder.
He was like literally going into the photo op area that we had just come out of because he was like, I guess going to do. I wonder, did they like have just him and Neve together?
Yes,
was that like
there was him and Neve. I think there was.
I knew there was him and
then there might have been a Billy and Stu.
Yeah, I knew that was one and one with all of them, but because I remember thinking like, wait, but where's everyone else? But I guess it was just like her and him, their photo op.
So I didn't even see Skeet. Like I just completely missed it. So we went out and we were immediately like, we had known the night before. We were like, okay, so we're gonna spend the whole next day just in Neve Campbell's like autograph line. We want meet and greets. So we went looking for her meet and greet line, and it was already capped off. I was like, fuck. We were just like, this is really disappointing. We didn't know what to do. Ian's already preparing for his glory moment. Ian was MVP in this moment. We were like, we went up to the lady and we were asking her like, what are we supposed to do to like get in the line? How can we get in the line? She said, you got to see this person or whatever, and he might let you. At first she said, what did she say? She said, maybe if you're like sweet to Neve and you like beg for a picture, she might do it. I wasn't about to stand off to the side and be like, Neve. No, please.
Security escort us out. Like,
but she said, like, if you go see somebody, and like Ian said, okay, 1 second. He like darted into the fucking ballroom. I don't even know how you like. She gave you a name, a person, a general description, and I don't know like who were you running in to look for? Like, how do you know who to look for?
I was looking. Listen, I've done a lot of cons. I know how to schmooze a nerd. That's a thing I can do. And like, I'm not that confident, but this, I was like, I fucking got this. And like, I use my gay customer service voice, which goes over well because it's non-threatening. It's, welcoming. It's nice. It's pleasing. And I just put on a nice face and I just went up to the guy that was working at the fucking table. And I was like, hey, are you whatever the name she gave me? He was like, yeah, why? And I was like, the woman working in the back, she sent us over here. We really, really wanted to wait in line, but we had to leave for the photo op, so we couldn't wait the whole time. But we flew here. There's 3 of us. We all flew from different states. Is there any way we could get into the end of the line? And he like looked me up and down and went, all right, you're being really nice about it. Yeah, tell her I said you can go to the end of the line.
And such bullshit too. We literally, that line had been capped off since they said, like somebody said 9 a.m.
Yeah.
That's what they'd gotten there and that line had been capped off. We were
never hours later.
I know, we went to the ice house, we had margaritas. we benefited from our homosexuality. But like, I just couldn't even like, in that moment.
You and Troy were like, what?
I didn't understand like who you were going to see. I'm like, who is he looking for? Who is he looking? Has he met this person before? I don't know. He came back and he said, "Let's get in the back of the line." The lady though, she like laughed. I could tell she was like having a little bit of a power trip, being like custodian of this line. And when we got to go in, she was a little annoyed, I think. But we got to go in. We got to sit at the end of the line.
I think she kind of liked us because it was like, oh, the gays who are nicer. Like it's not like
Maybe
because there was
know.
so many shitty like straight dudes that were like pissed. Like there was that one guy in the
But
jersey.
okay, I'm not gonna shit on him because I know that him and his group, they were like at the end of the line, it was like roped off, and there were people sitting there in case they opened up any part of the line. And him and his group were sitting right there, so we definitely cut them, got into the line, and I totally know how he was feeling. I don't shit on him for it. He was like probably pissed that he like saw us do that, and so he like stood by us for a long time, and he was like, "Yeah, we've been here since 9 a.m. The line's been capped. When did you guys get here?" And I'm like, "He knows. He knows."
Listen, it's cutthroat, these fucking cons, Zachary. That's
I fucking guess
like,
so.
It's the way it goes.
Like this. It was. I knew it was a horror convention. I didn't know we were going to be in the horror convention, the movie. It was a lot.
It's the fucking purge. It's everyone for their own.
Everyone hung around us for like the longest fucking time. We were in this line for like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
He hung around us for a long time, but then like other people got in to the line too, and they like kind of barricaded us, but they were like our buffer between us and him, and so he was just like talking shit about them behind their backs, and they were just like,
but then but the reason I will give him shit, because then he said Neve Campbell sucks. Like he was like, oh, like she's
I didn't hear him say that.
Was it, or was it a different man that talked shit on her? There was a man.
There was a different one.
Like,
I don't think he talked shit on Neve Campbell.
Was it the other guy?
There was another guy who had like brown on, but he was like a lot bigger.
Okay.
I don't know. We sat in that line. There was a bar like right across, so like we kept going over to the bar and getting drinks. And I snuck those drinks all the way back to El Paso with me. I didn't even realize they were still in my backpack. I opened my backpack like 2 days ago, and there were drinks in there because I think the line had started moving. We're like, oh, put the drinks away. We can't be drunk in front of Neve Campbell. So I just started shoving them into my backpack. Ian also, another MVP moment. Give him all the glory. We found out while we were in line it was cash only, and we're like, fuck. And ATM inside was not working. Everybody's having a problem with the ATM. So if you have ever been to DFW is this massive airport. All of these terminals are like little towns, like, and it takes forever to get anywhere. You were in the same terminal that we were in, though, right? So like you didn't have to go to a different terminal.
It was so what I was like, I got this. I'm gonna find an ATM, and no ATM in the whole hotel was working. And then so I went up to like the concierge and was like, "Is there any way?" And they were like, "We're what do they call it? They don't take cash, so the hotel has no cash." And I was like, okay." And they were like, "You might be able to find an ATM in one of the terminals." And I was like, "Fuck." So I ran through 2 parking garages to get to the terminal, and then it was all the way at the other end.
Who were you with, though? Because we got a text from him saying, "I'm with the other gays, and we're running to a terminal or something," is what you said.
I meant to say guys. Other guys. I thought it was these 2 straight guys.
When you're so when you have so much faggotry pouring out of you that your phone autocorrects to gays instead of guys.
Yeah. Like, these other 2 guys were, like, standing with me as I was asking concierge, and so we all went through, and like those guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna go pee real quick." I was like, "All right, bye." Like I took the money out of the thing and I ran all the way back. I do not run. I am not an active person. But in my brain, I was like, we will all be so pissed if I make it there. And it's like, well, the line, like they took everyone and I have all this fucking cash. So I was taking out cash for all of us so we could all get shit. And I'm just like shoving this cash in my wallet and booking it through 2 parking garages to get back to the hotel. I was so sweaty when I got back.
Adrenaline. It pushed you forward. It pushed you forward. You should have asked me to do it because I didn't know. I thought you were going to an ATM in the hotel. Is what I thought.
I thought so too.
I totally would have run to a terminal. I could have got there back quickly, but you did it. And you know what? We were proud of you. You came back with all of our money. We were all so happy because we got to meet Neve Campbell. And when you got back, it was still like 3 hours to go. So.
It really was.
You had time to do a little gay stroll, you know. You could have waddled a little bit.
I could have like walked around on the floor, bought some treats, like
gone to a restaurant for about half an hour. You know, you could have done.
But in my brain, Zach, was just so like, what if I get this money and then like, you know, the line starts moving and then you guys don't even get to meet her? No, like I would have been so pissed if I did that for nothing. So I was like, gotta run.
I was ready to ask for PayPal. I was gonna ask for PayPal. I was gonna be like, Neve, do you got a PayPal? You got a Cash
Oh,
App?
please.
What's your Cash App, Neve? Is it
Venmo, yeah.
Neve C? Neve C. So the line, when the line did start finally moving, but like we had like met people and like made friends with people in the line, which was super cool. Everybody was there looking for it. You know what I found really interesting is the girl that we made friends with. I asked her like the gayest question I could have. Right? I said, "What's your favorite Neve Campbell? What's your favorite Sydney final girl outfit?" And she's like, I've never paid attention to her outfits in the movies before.
I was like,
but she was like dressed head to toe in Scream. She like spent all of her money on the Scream photo ops
and like looked gorgeous and like that's someone you think would like.
Every year apparently showed us all of her pictures from all of the past times she met all the Scream people, and I'm like, you don't think of their outfits? What is wrong with you? But the guy
she said
didn't
that,
either.
I was like,
yeah, the guy didn't either. He's like,
oh, he didn't?
Yeah, the guy with the accent. He said he hadn't thought about it either. So maybe it's just us. I don't know. But the line started moving. We got in. We were like right at the end of the line. When she saw us walk in, she said, "Oh, light at the end of the tunnel," and it made me feel a little bit bad. I was like, she's probably fucking exhausted, isn't she?
Because what she did was, which was really nice of her, she literally, they like had people say like, "Don't worry, wait in line." Like she's going to get everyone in line because the con floor had closed by the time we were in there. Because that's when as we're in line, we see what was her name? The woman who played Taryn in Dream Warriors is like walking by us. And I was just like, "Hi." And she was like, "Are you guys coming to karaoke?" And we were like, "Well, I guess we are now."
Oh my gosh. And I was like pushing Troy to talk to her. And he was like stunned, couldn't speak. Because one of Troy's favorite movies is Dream Warriors. And so he saw her and he was like stunned. And she was like talking directly to us. Nobody else in line. Us three. And I was like getting him, and he wouldn't say shit. He was just like,
I feel like to toot my horn, I'm like, I do pretty well with like chatting up with celebrities.
I just like didn't know her like that, so I don't think I wasn't nervous to like see her or anything, you know. But I knew that Troy like loved her and like loved that cast. So he was too stunned to speak.
The only reason, just for me, that's like the most. I mean, and we had just watched the movie, but like that's always the character I remember the most because she's like cool and punk in her dreams, and like she was the one I wanted to live, even though she doesn't. But like that's why I was like, oh, that's like my favorite character in that movie. Because I liked when she's like, "I'm beautiful," and it's like her with a mohawk and like spikes. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It was good. And like we'd just watched it the night before, so it was like fresh in our minds. I was like looking at her. I'm like, she looked great. She looked great. She had like a little yellow sundress on. She asked us if we were going to karaoke, and so that's the only reason we went to karaoke, by the way, is because we were like, we're friends with her. She's like totally gonna sit at our table and everything. We're about to hang out with her for the rest of the night. Did not happen, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
She was like backstage or something. I don't know.
So I kept wondering, like, maybe at the end she came out and like did some, I don't know. But so we get up to the table, and the cool thing was, so we were like, oh shit, what are we gonna get signed? Blah 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 blah. And then like, if you bought the like meeting her and getting a signature, you could get a photo with like, right, the photo came like.
I thought the photo was gonna be like an extra because it was $100 for a photo, like a selfie with her and her to sign something. And I thought you were gonna have to pay like $20 on top of that for one of the prints that they have at the table, because they had a bunch of prints, and I knew that I wanted like short-haired Sydney at the table. I was like, I need one of those. But was it her mother that was there? Like, I
can't remember if it was her mom or her sister. I don't remember.
Everybody kept saying it was her mother, but I looked at her and I was like, this is like a 35-year-old. What are you talking about?
Because I know her sister is her makeup artist. The only reason I know that is because when Scream was coming out, I kept seeing like on my Insta Discover page, her sister's posts of like, did Neve's makeup for this interview? Did Neve's makeup for this? And it'd be like a picture of Neve in whatever outfit she was wearing for whatever interview.
So we walk up there and I ask, how much extra is the prints? And she says it comes with. So like we were super happy about that. And I thought I was going to get a Scream picture. And then I saw a picture, it's like right back there, of her sitting as Bonnie. And it was just like the perfect picture, right, to get signed. And so I was like, I need that one. By the way, she signed it Sydney.
Wait,
on
really?
a picture of Bonnie, and I'm like, she know she's been signing Sydney all day. She know.
Wait, did she not put her? She didn't put Neve Campbell.
She put Neve Campbell Sydney underneath it.
Oh, okay. Because I'm saying she put Neve on the one. So I bought this. This is the only thing I bought that wasn't a meet and greet. I can't remember the artist's name. Do you remember the artist's name?
If you know the Mondo poster there's a Mondo poster of Prophecy Girl. that was really
and a Hush
popular
one, because
last
I own
year.
the Hush one.
Yeah, and it went really fast last year, and it had like a red variant and a purple variant. His wife did that, and so it was him at the booth selling for.
Well,
his
no,
wife,
she was at the table when I bought this.
Okay,
because so she has these prints, which I thought were like really good of Sydney from the first movie. Yeah, because she was there, and I was like, I want 2 of these. Also, I love your work. And she was like, what? And I was like, I really love your work. I own the Hush poster. I'm going to meet Neve Campbell. And she was
basically,
like,
because we were at that booth for a long time the day before, and she wasn't there. And so basically, you're coming up with the shorthand, and she doesn't know it. She's like, what the fuck is you talking about? We were like,
she was just
discussing you all day yesterday.
Yeah. She really was just like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. But so you had those to sign. I just got that picture of Bunny. I think Troy got a picture of Sydney from Scream 2. And so we were all in like a little group, and I feel like we got to talk to her as a 3-piece and got like extra time to talk to her because we were all with each other.
Yeah.
Just like, and I was really, really happy about that. Because she very much recognized that we were in the group together.
And I love that for us as friends. Like, I just like, it's a nice like friend moment with our friend Neve Campbell.
It is our friend Neve Campbell. Absolutely. We are her gaggle of gays. While I was in line, I ran to like the front desk, and I like got a little piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote down my phone number, and I said, come to karaoke with the gays, because we were going to karaoke after this. And I folded it up and I had it ready for her. And I wasn't going to give it to her, but I ended up slipping it to her anyway, because she seemed like really tired by the time we got to her table. But she was still
very nice.
You went first. How was your experience with Neve Campbell?
It was fantastic. She, again, like the day before, I kept being like, she's like radiating warmth. She seems so nice. And then she was, which was very nice. Like she talked to everyone. She like, because the guy that we were with, Luis, he like, she was talking to him and me. Mm-hmm. Like she could like tell that he and I were friends.
I don't know if you noticed, but you were like right up on him, like you were his boyfriend. Like you were like on his shoulder, like looking into her like face.
Well, because he wanted me to take the photo.
Yeah.
So he was like, you got to come up with me, because he wanted me to take the photo. Did I even take the photo? I don't remember if I did.
I don't remember. I don't know.
But I was like, but there's people taking the photos, and he kept saying, no, I want you to take it, because like you'll do a good job. And I get that, because like you never know with other people if they're gonna like get the right angle. Mm-hmm. So that really was why I was close with him, because he wanted me to take the photo, and I didn't want to like them to think, oh, he's walking up weird, like after, I don't know. But so that's why I was closer to him. But like, so she was talking to both of us. I don't remember, because he said something and she looked at me and went, like made a joke about it, and I don't even remember what it was, but I was just like, ha ha ha, so funny, yes. But like I gave her the Slayerfest 98 Sydney Prescott pin, and she was like, this is really cute. Where'd you get this? I was like, for my podcast, I sell them. And she was like, oh, that's cute. And she thanked me for it. I'm sure it just like went in a bag with like a bunch of other dumb shit.
I should have been getting pins all day long, right?
But like I had it in my bag, so I was like, I might as well give this to her. Yeah. What else did we say? Oh, I was like, thank you for doing the newest Scream, because I really, really loved it. And I loved Sydney being so strong and confident. And she went, thanks. I appreciate that. And then so Zach and I, we got our photos, but we asked them, and that was fine. Like for the photo I was paying for.
We technically paid for 2 photos. So we wanted to get both of us in both of them, so we could get like extra. We were capitalizing on how much time we were going to get with her.
We already had our like single picture with her. So,
so we might as well. Do you remember everything that you and her talked about? Because I have a slight blank spot. I remember when I first walked up to her, I said, "You are a rock star for sticking it around and taking everybody in line." And she like laughed, and like when we started talking about something, and I feel like we talked for a good bit, but like I hardly remember what we talked about.
Well, so I feel like it's the effect of like, holy shit, I'm looking at one of my favorite actors.
And I was like, close, right?
And
she looked at me in the eyes. I was like, you're looking at my eyes.
Time stands still, because it's like you're so close to her.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, holy shit. And like, and she was just so nice. She just seemed very chill, right? Like, and so when I went up, and then I was like, oh, he's going to be in the photo with me. And she said, she looked at both our shirts, and she did say, My Bloody Judy, I like that. And I was like, oh my God, let us know if you ever want to come on the podcast, because I would love to have you on the podcast.
Did you say that? Oh, so perfect. We should have left her a business card for that.
Well, Zach, do you know how many people were, so you gave her a business card, right? I'm like, we don't have anything to give her.
We didn't show up. We showed up with the shirts and the business cards. We were like, we're gonna advertise our podcast, but we didn't, because we had no fucking business cards.
We should have thought of that, but
you did it. I do remember you inviting her to. Because again, remember, we were in like a 3 block, so we were all talking to her while each other was like up in front of her. So I remember you said something about karaoke. You're like,
well, because the guy, Luis, said to her about karaoke, and she was like, oh no, I'm really tired after this. And I said, so you don't want to come to gay karaoke with us? And she said, I hate karaoke. It's just people singing badly. I'd just rather get drunk. And I said, that makes me like you even more because I agree.
I know. And I jumped in and I said, you and Ian can sit at the table while we all go do it. And she like laughed. She's like, no, gays. No, I won't be doing that.
Wait, this would have been me and her sitting at the table, like drinking, like, and me just like click, 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 like taking a million photos while talking to her.
I know. And then she would have left because you'd have just been staring at her the whole time and she feels uncomfortable. Somebody did I don't exactly know what the situation was, but while we were on, somebody made her uncomfortable and security just came like, I don't know why they were not around her anyway, but they like came like right past us real fast in there. And I was certain that they were going to cancel the line at that point.
Yeah.
They were going to like usher her
I was very worried.
Mm-hmm. I was like, fuck.
But they didn't.
Fuck. Nope,
and like she could have, she had every right if she's uncomfortable to be like, all right, fuck this. But
doesn't that feel like it was like kind of surreal because that's something I feel like Sydney would have experienced too on like her press tour for her book or something like that. Like I wasn't blurring the lines. Obviously this is Neve Campbell. Sydney's not a real not a real person. I'm like, I fucking know that I have a job. But like it was like a weird like blurring of lines where I kept thinking of Sydney at certain moments while meeting her.
Yeah, that totally feels like on Sidney Prescott's book tour that would have happened. Like
that's like a scene. I would like to see that as a scene from Scream or something like that. I don't know, but so I went up, I met her. I remember telling her she was a rock star for sticking around. I remember we like laughed about something, but I don't remember what I was talking to her about. Because again, like all of our conversations were kind of like blending together. Because then when Troy went up there, we like
because I was there with you.
Yeah, we were joking about wild things when Troy was up there.
But I don't remember what you said either because I was there because I remember saying like I was worried they were gonna yell at me and I was like I'm gonna be in his picture. That's the only reason I'm standing here. And the woman like was like, yeah, that's fine. Like,
we spent more time with her than I think other people around us did.
And I think it's because we were like as a like unit, you know.
Well, so she stopped signing at one point when she was. Oh, I remember. Okay, so it's piecing together in my head now. I think maybe I'm having like false memories. But I told her she was a rock star, stuff like that, and then she asked me what I wanted her to sign, and I said, just anything, whatever's easiest. And so she like signed her stuff. She signed it like again on a picture of Bonnie. She signed it Sydney. She signed Neve Campbell Sydney. She wrote this like long ass thing on it too. That it's like best wishes, thanks for everything, something like that. And so after that, I remember she stopped signing, and like we talked for a minute, and like she was like looking at me and like doing this with her pen. She kept going. I just remember her going like this with her pen, and that's like.
So for mine, she put Ian. I'm Sidney fucking Prescott. Of course, I have a gun. Neve Campbell.
Yeah. Do you know what Troy had her sign on his? Do you remember?
No, what?
Okay, it said, "Troy, I'm a fighter." Neve Campbell, and like she really liked that one, and so she said he asked her to sign that, and she said, "Oh, that's a good one. I've never signed that before," and she signed it, so that was fun. But I don't know. It was a good experience. I liked it. I was like. It was nice. I felt so much better about this one, the meet and greet, than I did about the photo op because the photo op was like so quick, and I feel like I think that if you're gonna pay for either or, you pay for the meet and greet because you're paying for a little bit more time and a little bit more to be more relaxed, right?
But honestly, I'm glad we paid for both. Like I'm glad. That, like,
but I'm saying if you don't have money for both,
right. Okay, so I'm saying I am happy we did both because like. I love this fucking photo. Mm-hmm. And then I love that like you and I have 2 different photos with her together. Yeah. And like, which like we need to start photoshopping us with Sidney Prescott into
I'm just going to start doing that. So for like, cause I didn't buy anything else at the convention really, except for alcohol. So I got my photo up with Sydney. I got a picture of her as Bonnie. I got a signature. I got 2 selfies with her. Like I thought that was, and like ample time to talk to her and speak with her. Yeah. Right. I don't remember. She talked about Brooklyn at one point. I just don't remember. She talked to you about Brooklyn.
She did?
Yes. See, we don't know. We had a lot of time with her, but we don't remember. Y'all talked about Brooklyn. She mentioned Brooklyn or something.
And did I tell her I used to live there?
Mm-hmm. That's how the conversation started.
Huh. That might have been what she was talking to Luis about. And then like because she kept turning to me when she was talking to him. So like that might have been, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, also to be fair, I have a terrible fucking memory anyway. So like,
yeah,
you're lucky I remember as much as I
made
do.
some sort of like when we were leaving, I made some sort of gay joke about the gaggle of gays being in a group together, and she laughed at that one. So I was proud of that. And then,
well, I'm sure she's like cool and has a bunch of gay friends.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I just like I love the time we spent with her. I feel like she's ours. Nobody else was in line with her.
Are you kidding? So I was telling people at work how like I was just like, oh my god, well then come on our podcast, let us know, blah blah blah, and everyone was like, so you're gonna like queer? I'm like, it's not been, but like maybe I will.
Why not? Actually,
like,
I think you should. Yes, I think you should. I did slip her the little card that I had because I wasn't gonna do it at first, but then I did when I was walking away, and I said, in case you change your mind, the one that said karaoke with the gays, and I had my phone number.
I do feel like she was a little bit more relieved that it was a bunch of gays at the end of like gays and ladies at the end of the line, because like she probably was like, oh, thank God.
I don't know. Like, I would be curious to know what her interactions with the straight guys are and like what they ask her, what they talk to her about, right? I do remember what I asked her. Oh my God, but I don't remember her answer. I asked her what her favorite final girl outfit was that she wore.
Oh, you did?
Holy fucking, I don't remember what she said. Oh my God.
I feel like she said 2. I feel like she might have said 2. I feel like
Did
I
she
remember
say 2?
telling us this.
That's when she was doing this with her pen. She stopped signing and she was answering me.
I think you told us she said 2. I think you did.
Maybe she did. She must have. If that's what you remember, then.
And we got to remember that there was also this like very cool mom and like teen daughter
that we didn't discuss. Yeah.
And like the teen was going to her prom after meeting, and they were late, and like the line was moving, and she had to like jump out of line to get changed into her prom dress and come back and like got a picture with Sydney with Neve Campbell in her prom dress, which I think that's like a really cool, memorable.
That's like, such a great story, right? Is that she was late for her prom because she had to take a picture with Neve Campbell, and
a very good reason to be late to prom.
I wish we had been close enough to like hear how that conversation went. Yeah, because I wanted to hear what she said about the prom girl, but they were like right in front of us, so why weren't we that close?
I know, right?
That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't know. It was a great experience.
We're being polite and giving them space. That's why.
So we got out of line. She finished her lineup, and we left, and we went to. At that point, I was super calm, cool, and collected. I was like ready to go. Right, I was like, I was feeling good, and we went to karaoke. We found a table with all of these like older white Southern ladies.
Zach was charming the shit out of them.
I didn't even know how though. I didn't understand. They just kept calling me West Texas.
Zach, yeah, I looked at you. Of course, you're gonna charm these like Southern ladies.
I guess
you're a Southern gentleman.
That lets me know that I might do good with Reese Witherspoon. So, like, if I ever meet Reese Witherspoon, if Reese Witherspoon ever does a con, I think I can charm her a little bit. Get her to come out to get karaoke with the gays.
The one lady who loved Zach looked at me and went, "You talk really fast."
She did say that. I also, to be fair, think she was very drunk, and I think like. I don't know, because she was before she said that, she was like just staring at you.
Yeah, she like stared at me and was like,
so I think in her mind, you were talking very, very fast. But Ian leaned over to me and said, oh no, you texted me, Troy. She said, you said, just say I'm a faggot.
Yeah, like, just call me a faggot. It's fine.
Just call me a faggot. I don't know. They were fun though. I don't know. We just like we had a good time at this karaoke, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like, like the actress who played Taryn did not show up, spoiler alert, but
we were fucking looking for her too. Like we walked in there like the Sanderson sisters, like looking.
It really was. We saw that guy in the top story jacket, which was really cool. He actually messaged me. He follows Slayerfest now because I was like, we both like recognize the jacket. And I said, I love your jacket. God, my gay hands are knocking my headphones out. I said, I love your jacket. And he went, do you know what it's from? And I was like, of course I know what it's from.
Do I know what it's from? Are you fucking kidding me? Shut the fuck up. The one guy, there's a guy cosplaying as Blade, and I guess he cosplays a lot. So I followed him on Instagram.
Yeah, same.
A nice like short chat. He asked me if I had any pictures, and I told him to like go and seek you guys out. And I said, I think they have all the pictures with them. Because you took pictures with them, right?
Yeah. I sent him the picture. I've actually been meaning to do what you did, like a little photo dump. I just keep forgetting to do like a little, but so the funny thing, this guy, so he's dressed as Blade. He's pretty hot. He like was laying it on thick with me and Troy. And he said to me, you're not actually like full white, right? And I was like, what? And he went, you're Hispanic. And I was like, how did you know that? And he went, you got that good mixed skin. And I was like,
He kept like doing like this on my back, and I was like, oh, I have a husband.
I was worried you were going to get mad at him because like me and Troy were eating it up, but I was like, oh, I don't want Zach to get mad at
He
this
wasn't
guy.
doing all that much. He only did it like once or twice, but like
Okay.
that. And I love when people do that to my back. It's just like, that always gets me. Woman or
nice,
man,
yeah.
that'll get me. But he
like-
he was cool.
He like hung around us for a little bit. And he was like the belle of the ball though. All the like goth folks were going up to him and like getting really,
He had
understandably
all the
so.
pictures, but he like stood next to our table the entire time, so it was like a solid like 30-40 minutes that he was just with us. I don't know, I feel like we just like chilled and like had a good time at this karaoke. Up on the walls they had the popcorn that Casey Becker makes in Scream. They had it just like on all of the pillars, and so I like stood up on a chair. I had like one of the ladies get up, and I stood on her chair, like yanked it off the wall.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, okay, you're getting the popcorn.
I didn't even take it. I should have like taken it with me. I left it in the hotel room. Did you see it before you left?
Yeah, I was like, you didn't even take this.
Pissed. I don't know if they would have let me take that. Do you think?
If it's in your like
It's like weird popcorn. They're like, what is
checked
this?
bag.
I know. I didn't have a check bag. I just took it on. I don't know. But then we left from karaoke after that, and we didn't go on Sunday. And I wish we would have.
Same.
Because all of the panels were on Sunday.
I didn't want to say, but like, yeah, I'm like, oh, if we do this again, we should definitely do like the full, like, stay for the whole
We're
weekend.
absolutely doing it again. I have decided that I am good spending that money on the meet and greets, and I want more of them.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because it would have been cool to get, even if like we didn't do all the photo ops, like the meet and greet with like see Ulrich, and like that would have been cool. Or like gone to the Scream panel, you know, like that would have been cool.
And I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis will do at least one more before she's
think
like
so?
officially done. Yeah, I think she will, because she did that one for like charity one time, and it was like a really big deal. And if she ever does that again, I will make sure to go to that one.
Because I feel like she's like Sarah Michelle Gellar, where it's like, I would rather die than do this, but
Yes. But I think she also has the energy for it, and I don't know if Sarah probably does. Jamie Lee Curtis is the Energizer Bunny. Did you see her like fully going off on Multiverse of Madness?
yeah, because my gay group chat was like, Queen. And I was like, also, I hate when people do this in Marvel movies, but she's not wrong.
It's so fucking funny though. It was just like, and she wouldn't stop. She was doing like post after post after post, all separately. Her Instagram is wild.
It's
It
like
is.
peak, like cool, wacky grandma.
She has reached grandma status, like, but like grandma status that you don't give a shit what you do anymore. Like, if she were an old racist, she would say the N word and
Right, yeah,
not
yeah.
care about it anymore. You know,
But lucky for us,
she's
like,
not. She's not. No, she's just super social justice-y.
yeah, which is I much prefer over racist grandma.
Absolutely. So yeah, right after karaoke, we went home, and then on Sunday morning we left. And
Yeah, Zach's flight was early. Mine was in the afternoon, so Zach
Yeah.
left before I
it
did.
was fun though. It was fun. It was a great experience. It was basically the Neve Campbell convention for us. It's all
It was
we
our
did.
Neve Campbell weekend.
It's our Neve Campbell weekend.
It was
and
my
fun.
first time in Texas.
Yeah. He was texting me
yeah.
before and he's like, I'm a fag. I'm scared to go to Texas. I'm like, you're in Dallas. Dallas is not that big a deal. I promise you.
I'm a capital F faggot. You are like lowercase.
It would be different
like-
if you were like going to a different place though. Like I feel like you're completely fine in Dallas. Nobody's going to get on you in Dallas. Well, we hope you got hope you guys have enjoyed our rambling about Neve Campbell and the Neve Campbell convention. If you've gone to any cons, if you've done anything like this, what was your favorite experience? What's your favorite person that you met? How did that experience go? Let us know. And
Have you met Neve Campbell before? Let us know.
yeah, I think another episode we're going to do this week is everything we know about Scream 6 so far. So stay tuned for that one, and we will see you later.
Bye.